I'm 33 years old, married, and this is the part no one warns you about when they talk about commitment. Not the wedding, not the vows, not even the hard years. It's the quiet middle, when nothing is technically wrong, but something inside you starts going silent. I want to tell this the way I wish someone had told me, plainly, without blaming him, without pretending I'm a victim, without pretending love disappears all at once. Because it doesn't. Marriage doesn't usually break with a loud sound. It thins, slowly, politely, day by day. When I got married, I thought love was something you protected by being patient, by not asking for too much, by learning how to adjust yourself so the relationship stayed smooth. I was good at adjusting. At 33, I can see how early that started. I learned to soften my reactions, to let things go before they became conversations, to tell myself that wanting more closeness meant I was being needy, that wanting more depth meant I was being dramatic. He wasn't cruel, that's important to say. He wasn't neglectful in obvious ways. He showed up. He worked hard. He loved me in the way he knew how. And I slowly learned how to accept love that didn't quite reach me. That's the danger no one talks about. Not being unloved, but being loved in a way that requires you to shrink. I remember the early days, how alert I felt around him, how we talked until midnight about nothing and everything, how I felt chosen. Somewhere along the way, chosen turned into assumed. We built a life that functioned. Schedules, responsibilities, shared decisions that made sense. From the outside, it looked solid. People told us we were doing well. I believed them, because I wanted to. Inside, I started keeping quiet little lists. Things I didn't say. Moments I felt alone but couldn't justify it. Needs I postponed because it didn't feel like the right time. I told myself this was what maturity looked like. At 33, I'm realizing how easy it is to confuse emotional restraint with emotional health. We don't fight much. People envy that. They don't see the effort it takes to stay calm when you've stopped expecting to be understood. They don't see how silence can be a form of compromise, too. I started narrating my life in my head instead of sharing it out loud. I'd think, he wouldn't really get this, and move on. That became a habit faster than I noticed. Love didn't leave. Presence did. Marriage teaches you how to adapt. But no one teaches you how to notice when adaptation becomes erasure. I don't feel trapped. That's what makes this confusing. I feel responsible, loyal, capable of enduring things quietly. I feel like someone who could stay forever, even if part of her faded while doing it. That's what scares me. I look ahead sometimes, not far, just enough to imagine myself older, sitting in a house that still works, with a marriage that still exists, wondering when I stopped speaking in full sentences about my own life. I wonder if I'll say, it wasn't bad, the way people do when they're trying to convince themselves something was enough. I'm not angry at him. That almost makes it harder.
Because without anger, you start blaming yourself for wanting more. You tell yourself that gratitude should override longing, that stability should be sufficient. But there's a difference between safety and intimacy. And I'm learning that love can survive without intimacy, but I don't know if a person can. At 33, I'm starting to see that marriage doesn't require you to disappear, but it will allow it, if you let it. It will accept every version of you that is quieter, smaller, easier. It will not stop you. I'm not saying marriage is a mistake. I'm saying it's a mirror. It shows you how comfortable you are advocating for yourself once the novelty fades. I used to think commitment meant staying. Now I think it also means staying awake. I don't know yet what I'll do with this awareness. I'm still inside the marriage, still loving him, still hoping conversation can stretch back into connection. But I'm warning my future self about this moment. The moment when you realize you've been managing a marriage instead of living inside it. If you're older now, listening to this, if you stayed, I hope you found your voice again inside it. I hope you learned how to be honest without apologizing for it. And if you left, I hope you didn't wait until numbness felt normal. At 33, I'm learning that the most dangerous marriages aren't the broken ones. They're the ones that work well enough to keep you from asking whether you're still fully there. I'm still here, still paying attention. This is me, warning myself gently, early, before quiet becomes permanent.